welcome back to the Odyssey. I am Mike Perez, and well, guess what, guys? We are in the week that apparently we're going to see a Nintendo Direct, and as of the recording of this video, I've basically been waiting since this morning to release a video just to make sure that Nintendo did not issue that Nintendo Direct announcement, because I wanted to go ahead and then just cover that. But as of the recording of this video, it is about 3:37 p.m., and Nintendo just issued their first tweet like an hour ago, where in a regular case, Nintendo would issue their first tweet being the announcement, or their second tweet a couple minutes later with the announcement, but nothing as of yet. Now, they could easily issue it tomorrow, since they are known also for giving us just 1 day of notice in advance of their Nintendo Directs, so that is still a possibility. But I wanted to take this video and just kind of talk to you guys, and maybe we can talk down below in the description about the expectations that we should have going into this Nintendo Direct. Now, whether we don't know yet whether it's going to happen this week or next week. I know that next week would fall on the 14th, which is Valentine's Day, but we also have to understand that Valentine's Day is mostly a United States. It's an American kind of like Western holiday, right? And so not everywhere around the world they celebrate this holiday. So holidays don't matter when it comes to a Nintendo Direct being announced or airing on their channel. So with that said, let's go ahead into the expectations that we should go into with this Direct, because we want to make sure that I don't want to say hype responsibly, because it's good to get excited. It's fun to get excited. It's like Christmas morning. Nintendo is about to announce great games, new games. At least we get the release dates for some games and stuff, and then we get to know what else is next in the world of Nintendo through a Nintendo Direct. Now, the first thing I want to go over is the rumor that's out there, at least some channels are covering it, about the possibility of a Nintendo Switch 2 announcement in this Nintendo Direct. And I want to go back to what Nintendo themselves have stated prior in interviews and in meetings, that in this fiscal year, they are not planning on revealing or announcing a next Nintendo system or a console. And so I want to remind you that we are still in that same fiscal year in which they actually stated that statement. I can't remember if it was an interview, it was a fiscal meeting, it was a shareholder meeting. But within this fiscal meeting, although we are in the year 2024, we are still in the 2023 fiscal year. Okay, so it starts in March and it ends in March next month. So this will be the last month. I would say March will be the last month of the fiscal year for 2023. And so then after that, after this fiscal year has ended, then I would open up the doors, open up the floodgates. Any moment we should hear something regarding the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, what can we expect from this Nintendo Direct? I think that rhymes, right? That rhymes, so it has to be true. Okay, so when we go into this Nintendo Direct, we should expect games related to the Nintendo Switch. Yes, our current generation Nintendo Switch. There's still a lot to talk about when it comes to Nintendo Switch. There are still many games to come out on the Nintendo Switch. There are 2 major games so far that have been announced with no release date, and so we're going to get it in this Nintendo Direct. Luigi's Mansion and Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door. So at least we have half of the year calendar already on the calendar, right? Well, Mike, why do you say half of the year calendar? Well, we're in the second month, right? Last month we had another code recollection. This month we have Mario versus Donkey Kong. Next month in March we have Princess Peach Showtime, and then we have Luigi's Mansion and Paper Mario. Those are 5 games that we have, I would say, out of 11 months, because Nintendo normally doesn't release a game in December. I think the last time was like about 5 years ago. But yeah, December is normally a month that Nintendo kind of just rests, and they concentrate on selling for the holiday season. So you could say the last Nintendo game will be for November. Normally it's a Pokemon game, or it's a smaller game, or whatever game it is, but it's always November, right? And so when going into this Nintendo Direct, that's the expectation we should have. No Switch 2 announcement in this Nintendo Direct. we are going to get more games on Switch. There are rumored games that are out there that could make it to Switch, whether they're ports or remakes. This paired with a list of third-party games that have been announced, and yet they're not on Nintendo Switch. So we could expect basically a lot of third-party games, right? Like, for example, we have Hollow Knight Silksong, right? Everybody's expecting that game. It was announced, not yet on Switch. We have Fantasy Island, The Girl Who Stole Time. I'm not sure if that's the right title of the game, but that's another game that was also announced and was pushed to the summertime, right? Remember when that game was pushed to the summer? Everyone was speculating that it was pushed towards Nintendo Switch 2. I believe it's still Nintendo Switch 1. It's still on Nintendo Switch because the game, it's not that graphically impressive. It's just, it looks like Animal Crossing, but with different art styles, right? So I still believe that game is still for Nintendo Switch. We have other games out there that have been promised to come on Switch and have yet to be on Switch yet. So this would be the time for those games to be announced. Now, when that Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal was finished, Nintendo signed a contract for 10 years to bring Call of Duty to the Nintendo Switch, right? Starting with the Nintendo Switch. Now, we still don't know whether that next console will be called Switch as well, but if not, then the 10-year deal has already started. So don't be surprised if we get a port of Call of Duty to the Nintendo Switch as well. There's so many possibilities that, that we can see games from Microsoft in this Nintendo Direct, with that Microsoft announcement that they are planning on bringing so many Microsoft first-party games to PlayStation and Nintendo. There are a lot of people out there who would love to have the Rare Replay collection on Nintendo Switch, along with other Microsoft games, first-party games, right? Like that Rush game, Super Rush, I think it's called. And, well, so this Nintendo Direct will be well-packed with games dedicated only to the Nintendo Switch. And I repeat, this Nintendo Direct will not have the Nintendo Switch 2. I hope that I'm wrong, right? I hope that I'm wrong, but I am going based on what Nintendo has stated in the past, and they've actually been pretty good, with the exception of the 3DS fiasco when they said they weren't announcing the 3DS, but then again, the next week they announced the 3DS. With that exception, Nintendo has kept their word, and they've actually come through with what they stated, right? So, with that said, no Nintendo Switch 2 for this Nintendo Direct, but we will get a whole bunch of games added to Nintendo Switch to complete the Nintendo Switch year, meaning games announcements all the way to November of this year, okay? Now, Nintendo did mention, the president said that he will continue to kind of, give the games on Nintendo Switch until March of 2025. So we could expect that maybe have all those games announced in 2025, or we could still have games announced on the next Nintendo Direct alongside the Nintendo Switch 2. Nobody knows. It's up to Nintendo to do this, but I just want to know from you guys what you guys think about all of this. Are you on the train to see the Switch 2 in this Nintendo Direct, or are you also basically stating, yeah, we're not going to see a Switch 2 in this Direct. We might see it after March, and then later in the summer, and all that stuff. We know, all the celebration, Summer Game Fest, and just all that stuff that's coming later on. So let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. I really want to know, and I'll leave a heart whenever I read your comment or I reply to you, and we can continue this conversation down below. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. You guys are awesome. If you have not done so yet, hit that subscribe button, that like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Never give up and journey on. Peace.